Welcome to Shoot the Breeze, a series on a podcast that celebrates the messiness of life, relationships, and Christianity, featuring my wife Lacey and myself, Nathan. It's creatively titled because it will be just us shooting the breeze, sometimes with guests, while occasionally saying something important. We hope you enjoy. One of those will work.
Give me some ideas of some restaurants that she likes.
So,
you're not being helpful.
First of all,
telling me to talk without talking about what I want to talk about.
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
My name's Nathan. This is my wife, Lacey.
he does this. I think he's done this the last few weeks in a row. He starts, he doesn't tell me.
I ask, "Are you ready?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm ready."
But
And then you're
I
just
could
like,
sit here for 4 hours and you still would not be ready.
"Yeah, but you're like,
What?
are you ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And then you just mutter to yourself like some...
Well, I'm trying to problem solve. Our daughter had her adoption day during the... Well, okay, so people get confused when I say it that way. Every year we celebrate the day our daughters got adopted. They have different days they got adopted on, so different adoption days. And it's kind of like a birthday, except for we let them pick out something to do like family oriented, like celebrating family. So every year they get to choose something fun. Well, this year on good old February 15th, sweet, lovely girl, Ariana, had her adoption day, but we were literally in the middle of a snowpocalypse and could not leave the house.
Also known as...
Snowpocalypse.
I was going to say global warming, but yeah.
Yeah, it was epic down here in Texas, I'm sure. If you're listening, you are aware. But basically, no one went anywhere or did anything for a week. And she kept trying to convince me that this little arcade bowling alley place around us would be open. And I was like, Ari, Butters and Gutters is not open. They are not open. They are not like standing there in the snow opening their facilities for us. But so she felt like the storm was a personal attack. So I'm sitting here trying to... No, we had to reschedule the adoption day. So now we have adoption day celebration
coming up
tomorrow night, I think. But Nathan won't help me think of what we're gonna do.
I gave 2 ideas.
You did.
Go bowling, go out to eat.
Yeah, but you were suggested a restaurant all the way like an hour and a half away from us.
Yeah, it'd be a cute, fun drive.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
I can't like...
Honey, we lived in Alaska for 15 years where it took us 2 hours to get to the closest Walmart. Pretty sure we
riding that horse. We don't live there anymore. There are a multitude of reasons why. One of them is I don't like driving 2 hours to get to where I want to go. Speaking
of not living in Alaska anymore.
Yeah.
In the 3 days that we had global warming.
It was not 3 days. It was a solid 10.
No, but when we were like actually hunkered in our house, it was, it was like 10. Like the whole storm lasted like 10 days.
Well, it was 5 storms.
Okay, well...
You're minimizing the Texan experience here.
You tell me. Nate, you focus too much on the details. Too many details. Just go on with your story. That is verbatim how she sounds. Oh. And
good to know.
I'm trying to just like broad brush,
keep going.
Paintbrush. The story...
I want to see you lay on this plane.
What is it? Broad stroke. Right? Yeah. Is it broad stroke?
Yeah. Took you a while to climb that mountain.
Anyways, I like the story. The point is, we were like hunkered in our house. Here's what I'm trying to say. That's where it is. Had to get there in my brain first.
The point of the point.
We like, you and I both like massively suffer emotionally when it's like cloudy.
So sad.
It's like, guys, it's like legit.
I like the sunshine.
Yeah.
So you see right now, if you can see on video, I'm like covered in a blankie. It's not even that cold today. It's 55 degrees.
Yeah, it's like 55 degrees and
still
she's all
freezing.
Yeah. So, speaking of, we're looking for a place for Ari's adoption day. I'm saying bowling and dinner.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying not driving, all around.
We could find a bowling alley. Wow. we're inviting you into a personal conversation that you could probably care less about. How about we table this conversation for when we're alone?
Let's talk about what February is known for.
Valentine's Day.
It is.
So this will sadly actually be airing like a week after Valentine's Day.
No, it's already a week after Valentine's Day.
2 weeks after Valentine's. But I wanted to hit Valentine's Day before we... You know what? Next year's Valentine's Day, we're just going to replay this as if it's right on time.
I like that. It'll be like an annual thing.
Yeah, there you go. Valentine's Day, Lacey and I do not celebrate Valentine's Day.
I have a multitude of reasons. Do you want to hear them?
I mean, I have also as well
a
multitude of reasons, but I'm curious. Oh, wait. For those of you, because we've actually had a lot of you who watch this podcast, even though it's an audio.
I don't even get ready for it anymore.
No, I know.
Because I'm like, everybody's listening to it audio, but
no. For those of you, listen, and I don't want to do this because I really want to promo the audio. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they listen to the audio, then I don't have to get...
Exactly.
I have to put mascara
if you look at this,
on, nothing.
This is unprepared. That's also as well as unprepared.
Thank you.
I was just pointing
It's
to
so
Lacey.
sweet.
No,
okay.
Real quick, if you are listening...
That. I love how you refer to me as that.
What?
You said that. Waved your hand in my general direction.
Hold on. You tell your multitude of reasons.
Where are you going?
Hmm?
Where are you going?
I saved the card you got me.
Oh, gosh.
So, Lacey...
You know, I only got that for you because I knew you would like it, because you like cards.
Lacey got me this Valentine card.
It's about...
And I really...
2.5 feet big.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 by 2.5 feet, for those of you just
But
listening.
not a square.
Well, when you open it up, it's a square.
Okay.
But guys, I really like it, and she drew me a picture and everything. And so...
You gotta tell the whole story why I drew you a picture.
Because she's horrible at drawing pictures.
No, because you drew a picture on the girls, and I thought you would find it funny if I drew a picture.
So I did, yeah. I drew some pictures. We bought similar, not the same card, but similar cards for the girls. And guys, if you're listening, it's a massive card. And we bought the girls this. I drew pictures. Lacey drew me a picture, and I just really like what it says, and I actually really like it. So that's why I kept it.
You want to see the card Nathan got for me?
Yeah, show them.
This is me looking for it. Oh, where is it? Oh, I guess it's still in the mail.
For those of you just listening, she padded various pockets on her being.
But you want to know something?
No, here's why.
No, let me talk.
No, because you said...
I know, I was about ready to redeem it. Stop it. I will say this. I don't care. I actually hate it when you spend money on Valentine's Day because, number one, cards are like $7 or $8. That's insane.
That's ridiculous.
That's insane. Okay.
Not at the Dollar Tree, though.
No, not at the Dollar Tree. Secret. Number two, flowers. Same bouquet a week earlier cost a third of the price. And I'd rather have, I would like flowers. I just want to be able to, like, not spend 3 times as much on them. So it's okay if I don't get them on Valentine's Day.
Right, and you actually like, maybe... I might be wrong here.
I don't know. Maybe you should try it out sometime. We'll see.
From my 16 years experience, you like more along the lines of, you like a bouquet, but you actually more like, wildflower is not the right term. What is it where it's like a...
Potted plant?
Yeah, like you like more plants. You like more...
No, that's not true at all.
Like a ficus.
I don't like a ficus.
You like ficuses.
You don't even know me at all. You don't even know me at all.
No, it's the stem one. Like the one that looks like bamboo. Right?
No, you just bought me bamboo one year. That doesn't mean I liked it.
You said you liked it.
Well, because you bought it for me. You ever see those orchids?
How many?
Hold on. Have you ever seen the orchids in the H-E-B? Mm-hmm. I like those.
Orchids, that's the other one.
Yeah, have you ever seen any of the bouquets in H-E-B? Mm-hmm. I like all of those. Have you ever seen the ficus leaning on the corner alone?
Husbands. If you feel
I don't like it.
If you feel lied to by your spouse, I can sympathize with you, and I understand that feeling.
No, this
because
is...
I also too feel lied to by my spouse.
So
as if I've been living a lie for the last 16 years.
I've just not been listening, I guess.
Maybe someone hasn't been speaking, I guess.
We gonna do this right now? We're gonna go?
I feel like there's marriages out there right now that are being saved, listening to us fight.
Okay, so here's the deal. Here is the deal. Our very first Valentine's Day together was actually my first Valentine's Day to ever have a boyfriend. And I was like, you know what? I'll drink the Kool-Aid. I'll participate in this Valentine's Day thing. And so we were... Okay, this tells you how fast we got married after starting dating. It was our first Valentine's Day married. So
which we got married in November.
Mm-hmm.
Started dating. Nope, got engaged in October. Started dating in August.
I think we got engaged in September. And then we decided we needed to plan our wedding faster. So a month later after we engaged, we planned it for November.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had known each other for a while, so that's the justification. But anyway, so my very first Valentine's Day
I love
with
that
him.
you have to add that's our justification.
So our very first Valentine's Day together, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this special. I'm going to make his favorite meal. I'm going to make fettuccine Alfredo from scratch. I'm going to put on a fancy dress. I'm going to make the house look all nice. I'm going to buy him little presents. I don't know what I bought you. Card, all of that. So what ended up happening, though, is he was supposed to be home to eat at 6 p.m. And so I'm sitting there already with the dinner on the table. And 20 minutes goes by. 40 minutes goes by. An hour goes by. And this was before, I think we were sharing a cell phone. So you had the cell phone, and we didn't have a phone in our apartment, so there wasn't a way to call me. And 2 hours went by. And meanwhile...
I was in the middle of worship practice, worshiping our Lord.
Well, it ran long, apparently. And so what he does is he walks up to our little apartment we had, and he opens the door and goes to walk in, and he sees me kind of at the table, just sitting there. Like in the movies, you know what I mean? Like totally a scene from the
100%,
movies.
Yeah.
And he looks at me, and his eyes get really big, and he just closes the door and leaves. So little do I know, he's frantically running into town trying to find a card for me.
As a good husband should, when he realizes his mistake.
So he's gone forever. Now he's gone longer. Finally, he gets back to me, and he has with him this pathetic Buzz Lightyear card. Like, I kid you not, the cartoon Buzz Lightyear.
It wasn't even a Valentine's card, I think. It was like a thank you card.
It was a bit.
Was it a Valentine's?
It was the last Valentine's Day card the store had, so you just bought it. And that was your sad little offering.
Hold on,
to me.
I want to ask you something, like, in all seriousness.
Me?
Yeah, all joking
Okay.
aside, okay?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. It was your first Valentine's, right? Do you remember it?
I feel like it's still too soon.
It's, what I do in our marriage is I create memorable situations. You know when you can get old and you're like, man, I wish we would have remembered this or remembered that. But I feel like we have stories in our marriage that are so ingrained into our brains that we'll never forget them. And that's our marriage.
Right.
It's very memorable.
So that was our first Valentine's Day. And so our second Valentine's Day, we're like, we'll try this again, right? Like when you get kicked off the horse, you just get back on. We're like, we're going to
get on that pony.
Magical, right?
Yeah.
So we decide to go into this restaurant. I think we were in Wasilla, so we went into Anchorage, this restaurant downtown, and
Hold on. Yeah. The restaurant was like 45 minutes away, and like one of the nicest restaurants.
No, it was not one of the nicest restaurants.
Was?
Maybe on our budget, it felt like one of the nicest restaurants.
On our budget, it was like the nicest restaurant.
I mean, I think it was the Glacier Brew House.
On our budget, it would be like eating with royalty. Okay, basically the same thing.
Okay, anyway. So we
It
go in there.
would have been funny if it was like McDonald's or something.
Gosh.
Nicest
Remind me to
restaurant.
tell you.
Wait.
I could tell him our... Oh, I told you the Taco Bell story, didn't I?
Yeah,
A few
our first
podcasts
date.
ago. Yeah.
If you want to
Anyway,
revisit
Nathan
that
knows how to
podcast,
treat me nice.
guys, like I said, all of these stories are memorable. We don't even have to think about them because they're so ingrained in our brain. And again, as a husband, it's my duty to create memorable
Okay.
situations.
So anyway, we're on our way to the fanciest restaurant in Anchorage, apparently. And...
Nay. The whole of Alaska.
Okay, all right. So we're
Thank
on
you.
our way there, and Nathan, I don't know why, he was speeding, gets pulled over, gets this huge ticket, like
Guys, it's like-
$300.
No, it was like a
I'm
$270 ticket.
That's what I just said. I said
No, you said
$300.
3. I wanted to be more accurate with the details.
You're not okay with the rounding up.
Yeah, no, not by $30.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for that correction. I will make sure that I do not exaggerate any further. Okay. So anyway, we get to the restaurants. We're both kind of ticked off, right? Like, this is not a good start. So we're trying to redeem this Valentine's Day. What?
You skipped some details on the first story.
Tell me. What?
Remember how I had like milk and everything?
Oh gosh, yeah, I forgot about that one. We don't
It
have
was-
to go crazy back into it, but on that day when the very first Valentine's Day, he was so nervous and sad because he messed up so bad when he brought me the Buzz Lightyear card. I sat down to eat with him and he spilled milk over all the dinner.
Like everywhere.
Yeah, I do remember that. Anyway, yeah, that's great. Okay, so yeah. We're putting that behind us though, right? In the middle of the second Valentine's Day, we're gonna put that behind us. We're gonna start again good, we get the speeding ticket. No matter, we're on our way to the restaurant, so we get to the restaurant. And I don't know why, but we had this terrible waiter, and not in a I can take the terribleness in somebody who's just bad at their job.
Or like working at a Waffle House.
Right.
Nothing against Waffle Houses.
But this guy was rude, like super mean.
Condescending.
Yeah,
He was condescending.
He was, because
Yeah.
I was looking at the menu and I was thinking, I'm gonna order a glass of wine. And so I say, hey, I'm gonna order this glass of wine, and he goes, it's cheaper if you buy the bottle. And I'm like,
Remember, fanciest restaurant in the
it's
whole
not
of the
fanciest
whole of the
restaurant. It is not. It was like
continental
Listen,
Northern America.
it was about a $7, $8 glass of wine. Okay. And I'm like, I'm going to get this glass of wine. Well, he just is insistent that I need to order the bottle because it's cheaper if I'm going to have 4 glasses. I'm like, I'm not going to have.
So the glass of wine was $6,
I said it was like 7 or 8. Yes.
and the whole bottle, it was like
I don't know. You would save $1 or $2. I mean, we don't have to.
no, it wasn't. No,
unpack the math.
no. Because here's why. It was like $30+ for the bottle, and Lacey's like, I'm gonna have one glass.
Right. No.
$6.
I'm pretty sure people understand why I didn't want the bottle. Like, I wasn't planning on just like tossing him back. Like I wanted to.
After our first Valentine's, you were probably thinking ahead on this.
I just wanted a glass of wine, but he berated me. This waiter just berated me.
He got down on his knees and looked
did.
Lacey in her eyes.
He did. He got down on his knee, looked me in the eye, and spoke really slowly to me about how I was making a bad decision with only getting the glass. He was so rude. I was crying. I started crying.
He leaves, and Lacey gets up. She goes, "We're not eating here."
I know why we went there.
What?
We got that gift card at Christmas.
Oh yeah.
I was like, why did we go to
Yeah.
Glacier? That's why. The fanciest restaurant in English.
No,
all of Alaska.
North America,
Anyway, yeah. So
Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, we got up and left, didn't
Yeah.
we? We didn't even
Yeah.
eat.
I was like, but we had some bread, and she goes, I don't care. We're leaving.
Yeah, I was so angry.
Mm-hmm.
He was so rude.
So
I'm getting mad thinking about it now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
didn't realize I was still angry at that guy. He was mean.
we no longer celebrate the holiday we don't speak of.
No, I mean, I think we just decided that.
Is it Voldemort, the person you don't speak of?
Yeah.
Valentine's.
Yeah.
They both start with V.
They start with V. I think
It's like vendetta.
to me it just came down to That word doesn't mean what you think it means.
But I feel like V words are bad.
Sweetie, they're not bad.
Name a good V word.
Victory?
Oh, shoot. Good point. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. This is one of the many resources we make available for free at our website, cultivaterelationships.com. Our resources have helped people grow in their relationship with God and others. We've seen people set free from uncontrollable anger and paralyzing fear. We've witnessed estranged family members be reunited after working through our freedom booklet. We've helped people build healthy relationship and coping habits through our coaching videos. And all of these resources are made available for free because of the generous support of people like you. If you would like to become a partner, please visit cultivaterelationships.com/support. Now, I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Unless it's darkness that's victorious, then that's a bad
You're
V
way
word.
off point.
I am.
Okay, let me bring it back.
Yeah.
So, my point is, there's so much expectation, and the holiday is just meant to make corporate America money. It's not actually a thing. And so we don't do it anymore.
It's kind of like the diamond business with weddings and how diamonds became a wedding thing. They used to not be.
Okay.
Chocolates. I think it's chocolates started making Valentine's Day a thing. I'm trying to remember the story. Random.
We actually should do a segment called Random History as Told by Nathan, and you can just freestyle what you think is history.
It would be slightly better than drunk history.
Just a titch. Not really, though.
I wouldn't be drinking.
Way off.
Because I wouldn't be drinking.
You wouldn't have an excuse.
No.
You're like, I'm completely sober and I'm telling you this.
Have you heard the story of like diamonds and the diamond industry and how it kind of like whittled its way into the like marriage?
I know, but I don't really want to. No.
Yeah, and so it became like this thing because diamonds became air quotes rare. And so when you buy a diamond, it's for that one time in your life. Anyways, chocolates, I believe, did the same thing to Valentine's Day, which is what made it so big is the marketing, the commercial aspect of it. I think it was chocolates. I forget there's one chocolatier who did it, and I'm trying to remember. I can't remember.
All the details, huh?
Hey, if you guys know what I'm talking about, or just want to throw me some love that I'm not crazy.
Or you could just make stuff up and tell him that it's accurate. He'd believe you.
No, I don't want. It wasn't Hershey, but it was a chocolate.
Godiva.
It might have been Ghirardelli's.
I'm just throwing out chocolatiers' names.
Anyways, so that's our Valentine's Day. So we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. It's a tradition we have.
But here's something you should know.
You don't have to either.
No,
Is that what you're
no,
gonna say?
I was going to say you could buy me flowers on another day if you wanted to.
Okay, so that's unfair to bring up in front of other people because I do.
You did one time.
In our 16 years, I just bought you flowers.
Okay, listen, time out. You did just buy me flowers about 2 months ago.
Thank you.
But when was the time you bought me flowers before that?
Listen, there's been a lot of life lived in the last couple of years.
It was when you were the youth pastor's associate when you gave me the sunflowers.
Nope.
Like 10 years, 12 years ago.
That is unequivocally false.
Okay, give me the other time.
Unequivocally
Give me the other time.
false.
Do it. Give me a date.
At least, okay, hold on. Minimum, at least in Homer. Yep, I remember I bought you. Fair enough. It was bamboo. I bought it though.
Oh, you're counting the bamboo?
Of course I'm counting the bamboo. Why wouldn't it was a flower?
Okay, I'm trying to think of. I had that bamboo forever.
See, it lasted.
But I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. That bamboo was like 10 years ago.
And here's the other.
And that was at the Fred Meyer in Wasilla.
Here's the other reason I know I've bought you flowers.
Do you know how long it's been since we've lived in Wasilla?
8 years. Here's the other reason. Hold on. Here's the other reason I know for a
just
fact.
let that sink in.
8 years.
Okay, you're gonna still try to fight this battle?
Yes,
still? Okay.
because on multiple occasions I would buy you flowers from Safeway, and you always commented on how long Safeway flowers lasted.
That was our first year of marriage.
That is not true.
It was the Homer Safeway when we first lived there that first year.
No, because it was called Eagle back then, and you never once said, Eagle flowers are amazing. It would always be Safeway flowers are amazing, and it turned into Safeway when we moved there this last time. Minimum 4 years ago. Hold on, I'm not done with my soapbox. No, it was not 4
years ago.
Minimum 4 years ago next is here. At HEB Flowers, you have said the exact same thing. I am shocked at how long HEB Flowers last.
Because I bought them for myself a few times.
That is neither here nor there, but I feel like you're taking away from my point.
Okay, I will stand up for you a little bit, though. I completely and totally told you for years when we were broke, not to buy me flowers. Because I felt like they were a waste of money. So I didn't want you to, and I kind of trained you in a negative way. And you can't just untrain somebody.
Have you ever like beat a dog and then you expect that dog to do all these amazing tricks, and you're disappointed that the dog doesn't do tricks? Well, it's because you beat them for so long.
I stood up for you. I stood up for you. I just stood up for you.
I know. There's multiple emotions going on right now.
Number one, you feel bad that it's been years because you're thinking about it.
It hasn't been years. It was just a few months ago. Don't feel bad about that at all. And you know what? We'll see how many years it is until I buy you them again. How's that? Keep it up, Lacey. You're doing so good.
I didn't know it was a merit thing. Oh my gosh.
It reminds me of the quote, I forget who said it, where it's like, my husband never tells me he loves me. Well, I told her on our wedding day I love her. If it ever changes, I'll let her know.
Exactly.
Okay, so traditions, I'm trying to make a segue here. Traditions, our tradition is not to celebrate Valentine's Day. And apparently, according to Lacey, also a tradition we have is I don't buy her flowers.
It is a tradition.
Oh,
I do have something back on Valentine's Day. I know you're trying to segue, but
you get to segue now.
Our daughter Ari thinks that Valentine's Day is like a major holiday, and so she always makes a really big deal about it. And the Nana keeps sending boxes on Valentine's Day, which is really sweet. But my girls,
Nana's grandma.
Yeah, my girls think that it's an actual holiday, like that Valentine's Day is like a legit reason.
You know what's funny is listeners are probably going to be like, "It is a real holiday," and most of the husbands are like, no, it's not. I agree with them. But hey, send this podcast to your wife.
Exactly. See what happens to you. No, but Ari said to us, she goes, hey, Mom, Dad, I was thinking in order to celebrate Valentine's Day, Lydia and I could sleep in your room. Which just struck me as really funny, as she thought that was an appropriate Valentine's Day, celebratory
when they get older.
Like sleepover time with
When
Mom
they get
and Dad.
older and get their own spouses
we're
in
gonna
houses,
show up at their house for Valentine's Day
and be like, "Hey, sleepover, guys!
Valentine's Day sleepover." I was gonna tell you this cute story.
Okay.
So my grandparents apparently, for decades, my grandpa gave my grandma flowers every week.
Do I have ice cream in my beard?
Totally. Yeah.
Dang it! Every week.
Every week.
For how many years?
A lot of years. Long time, yeah. Yeah.
You gotta keep talking so they can.
Oh, yeah.
I had to get up.
I was just watching you walk away. It's
Sorry.
Like your shame was dripping from your beard.
I'm eating.
I'm glad you followed up my sweet story with that. That was really appropriate. It was a good one. It was a good one.
It fits our marriage.
I think I was just in shock at all the.
I didn't mean to. It spilled. Okay, so, serious. For years? Yeah. Every week?
Every week, for years and years. And I found my grandma died about, 15 years ago, and my grandfather just passed away about a year and a half ago. But I found the last card that he gave her in the flowers because he'd write her a little note every week. Isn't that so sweet?
Wow.
I know. It's really romantic. It's really kind. I love it. So that's a tradition they had. Look at me segueing away. So we've talked about this in a different coaching videos and stuff. The traditions that we use in our family to keep everybody stable. And one of those traditions is we do...
Well, hold on. Talk about, like, what is the importance... What do you see the importance of traditions being in general, and then obviously for our family? Like, what's the... Why have traditions?
Well, I mean, I'll take Christmas. Christmas is a great example. Most people really enjoy Christmas because, and I'm going to say most because I know there's definitely exceptions out there, but because there's happy memories that come with Christmas. And so they look forward to that time of year, getting out the lights and the ornaments and putting up the tree and the music and the food and all of that, right? That there's a lot that there's a lot of
positive memories, a lot of positive
things. There's a lot of things they can count on happening. Like, that's why it's really hard when you merge a married couple or you merge a couple into a married couple.
Oh, goodness,
individuals into a married couple, because they're like, no, this is my tradition. No, this is my tradition, right? And you have to like start to bend and shape for those traditions because someone will be like, well, this is my lovely, sweet thing that makes me feel, fuzzy and great at Christmas, and it contradicts yours, and but there's a reason why we have these things that we have to do. And so these traditions actually, I think, as a society, as a family, as individuals, they stabilize us. They give us something to look forward to. They give us something that is predictable that we can look forward to. And like I said, I definitely know there's exceptions. I know there's people going, I hate the holidays, but the opposite is also true. And so with Nathan and I, we have always been really big on creating traditions that are stabilizing, because at a lot of points in our life, it's gotten chaotic, or it's gotten really unpredictable, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Well, it's uncontrollable, feeling out of control.
Feeling out of control, right? And so with that, when you're living a lifestyle that's a little bit more unpredictable, a little bit more out of control, what can you do to create things for kids that are making them feel a little bit more stabilized, right? Things they can count on.
Right.
And so...
especially kids from hard places. We have friends several friends actually that adopted, and I think families that are made up with adopted children, all of that, it's particularly important because of they're raised in this out of control, chaotic.
Well, then it might not even be raised. Like, our kids weren't raised in it, but they had they're beginning. Their beginning, right?
Is
and
chaotic,
they have found, research has shown that even in utero, your brain chemistry, the brain wiring changes depending on that experience there, or premature kids or things like that. So, one of my favorite writers on the subject, Dr. Purvis, she talks about how that, these are kids from hard places, right? And so that's what we know, that our kids have certain struggles because of that, just anxiety or feeling out of control, all of that. Well, then you mix that with Nathan, who has this illness that does sometimes cause chaos. It causes unpredictability. It causes emergency trips or procedures or situations. And then you mix that also with a ministry lifestyle, which is a little bit more unpredictable too. And what we try to do is create traditions, if you will, that maintain a sense of normalcy. So, and one of those traditions is Friday night, for on all intents and purposes, is family night. Yeah. And we've been putting pizza in there a little bit more, but
Right.
Generally.
Well, waffles, the new one is waffles because we just got a waffle maker.
Right. So, but generally, we've always done breakfast for dinner.
Yep.
On Friday nights, and we've had family night.
Yep.
And that has been our thing since the kids were really young. And even when Nathan is hospitalized, we'll run to the McDonald's and get the
pancakes,
pancakes,
yeah.
you know, or if we're staying somewhere, or we'll invite people over to have.
Very rarely.
It is very rare.
You can't just like announce that, babe. Like, this is a family time, and
No, but
rarely.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are times to invite people into that.
Yeah.
But as a norm, we do keep that protected.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I did bring that up is because the kids are better with us inviting someone in than they are with us canceling.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess that's why I was saying that. Yeah, it wasn't like a free invite. You know, Friday nights at the Stews.
Woo!
But it is.
And we'll shift kind of depending on the season. We've been doing more like games, board games. Every once in a while we'll watch a movie or something like that if we just need to like veg. But yeah, try to make it as relational as possible.
Right. And even if it is something where we can't last very long, we
yeah.
The girls love to play the game Sorry. Wow. I am never so thankful to see somebody win that game. It doesn't even have to be me. Somebody.
Just anybody.
Anybody.
As soon as possible. Yeah.
But and I've just noticed that the more things that my kids can count on during the week, the things that they can count on being predictable or set, the better they're going to do. We've instituted, we've always done dates, but they do a lot better when we have a set time for dates every week.
Yeah.
I think the thing I struggle with is when they become really, I don't know, it's hard when it's super rigid, but it also, they do better when it's rigid.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm still workshopping this out. You like a lot of rigidity. I don't.
Yes, I love a predictable schedule. Lacey does not. I actually just watched a teaching by Jordan Peterson on schedules. I meant to forward it to you.
I bet he loves it.
Oh.
He's like a pod person. Of course he's going to love it.
I love schedules, and I love Jordan Peterson.
I know. He has a lot of great thoughts about it.
You know what? Just saying. The stringent people get things done.
I mean, but is getting things done your ultimate goal?
Sometimes.
Like spreadsheets?
Spreadsheets. You know what's funny is I'm not a spreadsheet person. I'm really not.
But you are. You have your own spreadsheet. You know what it's called?
What?
Your journal. Look at your face.
That's neither here nor there.
Okay, I'm doing air quotes. He keeps a journal, which is not actually a journal. It's actually where he just writes his to-do list for the day.
No. That's not true. I do have a to-do list in it, but that's not it. Like,
do you write personal thoughts in it?
Have you not seen my journal?
I don't look at your journal. I know you have to fold it very methodically to get the lines straight, and then you take a ruler and draw the lines every day.
You're giving a lot of details that people don't need to hear about.
I'm just talking about...
Just the fact that I have a journal. I think that's all people need to know.
Talking about how you're so methodical. You said you're not a spreadsheet guy, but you literally get a ruler out and...
No, I don't need a ruler because I fold the sheet in half.
Oh.
Listen. Again, a lot of details here, Lace. You don't need to be so specific. The other thing, I'm trying to think of the other thing with routines, with traditions. Oh, is to be within them, to be flexible. For example, if especially as our girls are getting older, they're involved in more things, and or depending on the season, we'll have an event happening Friday night or something like that. But the idea of having traditions that can flex. So if we can't do it on Friday night, just the other week we did a family night on Thursday. because we knew coming up we would have something, or a Saturday, like bumping
Yeah,
it
they
to a
generally do
Saturday.
better if we keep it the same.
Oh,
though.
100%. Yeah, they usually, but at least they know that they'll get a family night in, you know.
I know.
What?
It's funny with traditions because I do think they're important, and I do think they really stabilize the kids. I really do. I think my problem with them, a big problem I have, is I overthink it. Like, I want it to be...
you way overthink things.
I want them to be, like, big and glorious and special, and then I try to overthink it, and I can't maintain it, right? So
Yeah.
I'll try to start stuff, but it's too involved, so it just sloughs away. And honestly, family nights are manageable because they are so relaxed. They're very... They fit. Like, I just gotta whip up some pancakes. We gotta sit down and play a game. Like,
Waffles.
it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but when I
if
try
you
to
make
over,
if you make it too complicated,
yeah,
that's not the point of the tradition.
like, we're gonna sit down every week and write a letter about what we loved, and anyway, I think that's something good to remember because I really had to back off of that. I remember one Christmas, I was like, I'm going to make a new tradition. It's going to be so fun because my mom always made cinnamon rolls for Christmas. And I'm like,
I love this.
this is going to be so great. Like, we're going to, like, cuddle up every Christmas morning and do this tradition. And I had saw this recipe for monkey bread, the kind, you buy, like, a can of rolls and you, like, stick them on each other and then you cook them up and you put cinnamon and sugar on them and you pull them apart. You know what
I know what you're talking about.
It's really good, right? So I decide I'm going to do this thing, and I'm just already, out in my mind like a million years. I do this, so I did that the first year I sent Lydia to camp. I'm like, this is going to be something she's going to follow her. She hated it. Never did it again.
Nope.
So monkey bread, I'm like, this is going to be something that's going to be amazing every year. So I made it, and I get it done, and I put it out on the counter, and it's all like glistening and golden and beautiful. And the girls are like, what is that? I'm like, it's monkey bread. They're like, ew. I don't want to eat that. And I was like, no, it's really good. It tastes like cinnamon bread. They're like, we're not eating that. And they all sat there and refused to eat it. Even Nathan. Nathan's like, I'm not hungry. I'm like, what do you mean you're not? Get on the train or go away. Like, you got to help me make this tradition. Like, you're not helping.
So the other rule to tradition making is you can't force traditions.
So then it sits there, and finally someone decides they're going to have a piece of monkey bread. They're like, oh, Mom, this is actually really good. And I'm like, I know it's really good. And they're like, we actually like it. I'm like, forget it. I'm never making monkey bread again.
So
You'll never eat it here
your
again.
bitterness destroyed the tradition.
No.
That's rule number 3.
It was terrible.
Bad experiences can destroy traditions.
No, but I do that, though. I overthink, like, how glorious this is going to be when it just needs to be simple. Like, date day. We're going to do a date.
Yep. We're going to do a date.
We're going to do family time.
Yep. Or another great tradition that we have is you guys have heard this, but it's our family morning meetings that we have.
Yeah. That is relatively new. That started during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I started that because the girls were freaked out. Like, there was all this. They were, you know how we all were. We were all inundated with news all the time, and we didn't know what to think. And how much so were our kids, right? They were just hearing bits and pieces. They weren't really hearing a clear thing. So I would sit down with them, Nathan and I would sit down with them in the morning, and we'd just say, okay, this is what's going on today. And we'd watch a clip from the news or something that was age appropriate for them to feel like they had a little bit of control in it. And it actually helped a lot. Their anxiety really went down a lot. But when we started doing that, we also did Roses and Thorns.
Yeah.
So we added one where, and I think Lydia started that in Girl Scouts, where that specific title, Roses and Thorns. It's basically what you're thankful for and what you want to, in a prayer request.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yeah. So I was going to say, this is, for those of you homeschooling, and it's not just for those homeschooling, but this is a fantastic homeschool hack on starting your day together as a family. Get, whoever the primary teacher caregiver is, whether it's the mom or dad, but you get the whole family together, start your day off with rose and thorn. If you're a single parent,
and I would suggest it wasn't. I
yeah.
mean, not even for everybody, not just homeschoolers. Like you were saying.
Yeah.
Because we found it really stabilizing, especially just in the. Just the way things have gone the last year, and honestly, after the girls had gotten enough news about the pandemic, they wanted anything else. They were like, "Mom, please show us news on anything else."
So we started doing this. We started like and better, but there's like a free. It's called World Watch. There's a free version that's only
the top story. It's 2 minutes long, and you can get it on YouTube, and it's Christian based, and it gives you the top story of the day, and it is
worldwide.
Yeah, it focuses on news from all over the world, and top story just has the main thing for 2 minutes.
Yep.
And the girls loved it so much they begged me to buy the
subscription to it. Yeah.
So we got the year subscription. I think it was like $60 or something like that.
And it's a 10-minute worldwide summary of news going on, and that's honestly one of the biggest things through the election that the girls were able to follow and track with. And then sometimes what we'll do, this is not every time, again, this is making sure you're not overcomplicating your tradition, but every once in a while a news story will spark a conversation, and we'll carry that conversation for a little bit, but just not overcomplicating. I know growing up I did devotions with my family, or my mom tried to do devotions with our family, and I know in a lot of Christian homes, like, you get together and do devotions, and great.
We were doing that for a while. We
Right.
were doing Bible reading, which I want to get back into. We were doing
Right.
verse memorization and Bible reading, and that, not that it just got to be too much.
It was too much for our family
for the season, and I think
Yeah.
I'd like to incorporate a little bit of it back in. But we kept World Watch because it was a really good way to just talk with them and pray about and deal with any anxiety that they're feeling, because it's been a heavy news year for kids.
It's been a crazy
they're
news year.
10 and
even
12.
adults. I'm sorry, even adults are freaking out. Yeah,
but I love World Watch because he always ends with, "No matter the news, the purpose of the Lord still stands," and
it's
I love
fantastic.
it so much because they just give such a good perspective of, hey, this is the news, but God is still here. And I mean, that is the truth. So I give a free plug to World Watch.
There you go, World Watch.
But okay, what else do you have on here for homeschool hacks? Our whiteboard. So that's not the one in the hallway you're talking about?
So the big whiteboard's the one I was talking about. The learning board, isn't that what they want to learn about?
Yeah, they have a board they write stuff they want to learn about. We haven't done that one for a while, but that's hysterical when we do that one.
Because like the things they come up with over the week.
Cayenne pepper.
Yeah, where's cayenne pepper from?
Yeah, or
what didn't one say like
Gold Rush.
The alphabet?
Yeah, the alphabet, where the alphabet was made.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
So just fun stuff.
Our whiteboard, though, this has been really helpful for our kids. And like I said, our kids are different. So if you are raising a kid that has some anxiety or learning delays,
you've got to experiment with your own family and your own situation. Make it work for you. These are just a few things that we're just throwing out for fun.
This is what works for us.
Yeah.
And I say works very loosely because define works. Does that mean mom's not crying by noon? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not always.
90% of the time, we barely make it through the first 2 hours.
But okay, so the whiteboard though I really do like because I am able to, when we keep our verse on there that we're memorizing. We also keep
at night. You've been writing
that's
the
what
kids.
I'm talking about. I post, because it's magnetic, I post any pertinent schedules or information about the week on there, because it's like right as they come out of the room, it's in the hallway there. And then the thing I've been doing recently that just Ari is like pumped about is the night before I will write out the schedule for the next day, and I'll write it out in half-hour or 15-minute increments. And we have a basic schedule for every day, and we all know it. And it is predictable. But if there's any kind of change in that schedule, our 10-year-old will hyper focus on it. And so having that schedule, like if I write it after she's gone to bed, she'll sneak out of her room and study it just to get it in her head.
That's awesome.
Because
I didn't know that.
she loves
funny.
it so much. She wants to know what's going on and I'll have it just from the moment she wakes up until the moment she gets in bed on there. I hate it so much having my life scheduled like that, but my kids cannot get enough of it.
I also, too, as well, love it. And as Jordan Peterson says, it's not a prison. It just helps you focus your day into getting the things done that you need to get done.
You guys, bless. If you haven't picked up on it yet, Nathan was a kid from a hard place as well. So I'm surrounded by three of them. Yeah.
You were too.
Not like you guys. You guys were like extra.
My wife also has the gift of compassion, empathy.
I really do.
It is really a gift. Just not towards her family.
No. Well, I will say this.
Yeah.
Back when our kids were younger. So
she's actually very empathetic.
Yeah,
she's very empathetic.
Back when our kids were younger, I want to say Liddy was about 4 or 5 and Ari was 2, and we had just moved, and they were wrecking my mind. I did not know why I was having such a hard time, and they were at the age where they were able to talk a little bit more, and Ari was having these terrible temper tantrums, and I was given the book, The Connected Child, or I think I stumbled upon it. Someone recommended it, but I started reading The Connected Child, and it was just like all this training they make you do to be foster parents, and they never bring up the stuff that actually you need to know, right? It's so frustrating. So, but this was so eye-opening to me because here they are. I'm reading it because I thought it would really work for Lyd, because Lyd was adopted at 2, and I'm like, well, she definitely had some hard issues in her life, like that makes more sense. But I wasn't thinking about it being applied to Ari because Ari was adopted at birth. Yeah. So here I am reading it, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Like, this is explaining my daughter. This is making so much sense. And so it began this journey of, like, me finally understanding my kids. Well,
what's really funny is in arguments between Lacey and I would do this thing where...
Well, and I was gonna get to that.
Were you gonna get to that?
Yeah. So we're sitting there, we're thinking like mind melding.
I know, right?
So I tell Nathan, I said, you gotta check out this woman. She has some lectures. Listen to them. And this was Karen Purvis. And so he sits down with me and watches one of these lectures, and she's talking about how certain kids that are exposed to like hard beginnings, they get so overwhelmed, their brain can't process anymore, so their eyes roll back in their head, or they look like they're falling asleep, and really what's happening is their brain is having a mini seizure. Right. And when we first got married, and we were like in the height of our like...
Well, and this is when Lacey still struggled with like anger.
It wasn't even a struggle. You
just gave in.
Yeah. And I would stand and I would yell at him, and I would just try to be like talking with him about stuff, and he would look like he was falling asleep. And I'm like, am I boring to you? Is this not stimulating enough? And so then we're watching this, and I was like, oh my gosh, you do that. Like, you do that. I'm like, you're a kid from a hard place. I never put it together, but it makes total sense with everything you went through as a kid, that of course you're going to have these issues,
Well, and what's funny is I've noticed, as obviously I've received healing and dealt with a lot of that. I rarely do that anymore.
No, I haven't seen you do it in a really long time.
I have noticed I do it if I'm overly tired and our life has been overly unorganized, right? Like overly crazy. Those times, I've noticed but usually I'm good enough now where I'll be like, you know what, I think I need to just go take a nap, or like take 5 minutes to think through this. Now that I know what it is, Right.
So your brain doesn't shut down for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like the Homer Simpson pressing the button.
It's like all the old computers we used to have where they just shut off. Yep. They take a while to reboot, you know.
So, Anyways, wow, this has been like, we've covered a lot of things.
A lot of ground, man.
A lot of stuff. Traditions, Valentine's Day, and homeschooling, and...
We didn't really talk about homeschooling. We just talked about our homeschool.
Well, yeah, it's homeschooling.
Okay, cool. Put it on the tagline.
No, I already have homeschool as the tagline.
Okay, so you got to make sure we say it enough.
No, I'll do it.
So
no,
the algorithms
I
pick
think
it up?
I'll do it. No, I'll just. There's no algorithms. I'll do. If people find us, they find us. That's where I've.
Well, that note, make sure that you are sharing this podcast. And letting people know if you're enjoying it. We'd love to have that recommendation.
Yeah, and feel free to send in again topic ideas, suggestions, questions, all of that. We'd love to hear from you and what's interesting to you guys, and we'd love to piggyback on that.
It's funny.
Piggyback reminds me of monkey bread.
And watching this video, how often I've had my hands around my neck. I've been doing that thing. I used to do this thing, if you can see on video, where I would take my hands and like put them around my neck like this and kind of stretch them out like that, so it kind of looked like I was almost hanging myself with my hands.
It always looks like you're hanging yourself with your hands.
I did it for so long. I didn't even realize I'd be doing it. It's when I got stressed out, and my friends would be like, "Hey,
are you gonna make it?"
And then one of my friends started doing it herself, and I was like, "Oh no."
That's hilarious. You're gonna have to tell me who.
Yeah, I know.
That's
It's
funny.
that funny. But this whole time, I know I've been like.
Yeah. Well, today's been the last couple days. The last couple weeks. The last year has.
Just don't think about it. Don't get
too involved. The last 2 years. No, you know what's really funny is Lacey. She'll come to me and be like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like this last season has been crazy. Our life has never been this crazy. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, I feel like just recently things are getting crazy. And I'm like, honey, name a year we haven't had something traumatic happen. And I'll be like, 2020, 2019, 2018. And like literally, legitimately, every year of our marriage.
I am a glass is half full kind of a girl.
I feel like for those of you who know Lacey, you're already laughing. For those of you who don't know Lacey,
Mrs. Positivity.
You're not even like a.
Bubbling,
here's the thing.
Bubbling like a geyser.
There's people who are like hopeful pessimists or whatever. You're not even a hopeful pessimist. You're like a pessimistic downer.
That is not true. I am not. Why
No,
would you say that about me?
No, you're a realist.
Yeah. Because we all got to live in reality.
A pessimistic realist.
We all got to deal with the same world.
That's going to hell in the handbasket.
I can see that. Anyway, wow, I feel like we're like the preacher that gets up and is like,
I know.
My last point. And you're sitting there dying like, I thought you said it was the end. All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys.